Hey guys, welcome back. So, introducing the new Ornate Undead Combat Dummy. Thought maybe one day they'll update it so you can see the max hits of a Crossbow or Dragon Lance or a Leaf-Bladed Axe, etc. And I didn't think it would come in the form of actually upgrading the Combat Dummy. I thought they would just include the new max hits. By adding 20 Vampire Dust, you're going to be able to see your max hit of silver weapons, aka the Blister wood Flail, I'm assuming. By adding 500 Revenant after, you're going to be able to see the max hit of the Crossbow, the Thammaron Staff, and the Vigor's Chain Mace. Also, if you add a Vorkath head, you're going to be able to see the max hit of the Dragonbone weapons, which includes the Dragon Hunter Lance and the Dragon Hunter Crossbow. Next of all, by adding 10 Ensouled Kelphite heads, you're going to be able to see your max hit with the Carice, which a lot of you guys probably don't even know what that is, but I'll show that in the video. And last of all, if you add a Kurask head, you can test your max hit with a Leaf-Bladed weapon. And I gotta say, in hindsight, this has a fundamental design flaw, but I'll go over that toward the end of the video. One thing they did fail to mention is you're going to also need a gold leaf to do this. So let's do it. Upgrade. 300 XP, that's kind of weak. So now we got a little gold trim, that's nice. So I think you go like this, you just attach it one by one like this. Nice. Luckily I had one single Kurask head. I don't know if you can actually use these noted, let's check it out. Okay, I'm going to have to unnote them. Okay, let's go ahead and add the Vampire Dust. I should be getting the other components soon. Now let's add the Ensouled heads, and we're finished. Originally I was going to include all the variants like the off-task max hit, and the various setups that were subpar. That would have taken way too long and quite frankly would have made the video boring. So I'm just going to focus on the highest hitting setups. So we're going to be starting out with the Ornate Wilderness Dummy, because we're using a Wilderness weapon, and on Rapid we can hit a 45. And also oddly the max hit for Accurate is also 45. I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand what was going on when I first seen this, but eventually it dawned on me. This is only taking in consideration the bonus effect from the Wilderness weapons, so the Slayer helmet's doing absolutely nothing, and if I would have wore a Solve Amulet, that would have also done nothing. And the best setup I could possibly be wearing right now is the Void setup. Rapid max hit, 49 on Accurate, 51. So now we're going to use the Undead version of this, which also allows you to see a Slayer max hit. The only single issue with this is it doesn't take in consideration the hidden bonus of the Crossbow, so we can only hit a 38. That's honestly only the max hit outside of the wild. So this was a pretty huge mistake on Jagex's part, because you can definitely use the Solve Amulet with the Void setup and a Crossbow bonus. However, you're not going to be able to calculate the exact max hit with this Combat Dummy, which defeats the entire purpose of this whole update. The next thing we're going to be testing is the Dragon Hunter Crossbow, and we're going to try to get a proc off with the 3 highest hitting bolts. So just for the sake of the video, because I don't want this to go on forever, I'm not going to test Accurate for all the procs. I'm just going to test Rapid because it's what most people use, and it's not actually higher DPS to use Accurate. So the first bolt we're going to be testing with the Slayer setup is going to be the Dragon Diamond Bolt. And we're going to have to set this to the Ornate Dragon Combat Dummy, which is pretty cool looking. So let's go. We got a base hit of 57, that's pretty impressive. And now we got to go for a proc. There it is, right off the bat. 65 with our Diamond Dragon Bolt. Now let's go with a setup that hits a little bit higher, which is the Void setup with the Solve Amulet. A base hit of 62, that's crazy. A proc of 71 with a freaking Diamond Bolt, that's crazy. This time during the editing process, I realized what I was doing wrong here. This isn't utilizing the bonus from the Slayer helmet, so I'm pretty much trading off the full Void for nothing. So from here on out, I'm only going to test the Void setup. Not the Void setup again. First try, 73, that's crazy. So now it's time to use the highest hitting one of them all. Dragonstone Dragon Bolt's E. Let's go. 84, crazy. And once again, I'm finding another flaw in this experiment. First of all, you can't even Dragonfire proc Vorkath. Secondly, we're not even getting the bonus from the Solve Amulet. So the closest thing I could possibly do is test this one more time with the Void and the Anguish instead of the Solve Amulet. So this is going to be the highest max hit I'm going to get out of this setup on this Combat Dummy. There you go, first try, 72 proc with the Diamond Bolt. Now we're going to move on to Opal Bolts. Once again, 63 is the base hit instead of 62 with the Solve Amulet. Oh, there it is, 74 with an Opal Bolt. Now finally the Dragonstone Bolts. Just kind of now realizing this thing looks a bit like a Nightmare Staff. Ooh, 85. And one thing they did fail to mention is you never used to be able to see the max hit of a T-bow on the Combat Dummy. So I'm assuming they just fixed this now when they made this update. So it's the highest hitting setup, the Void setup with the Solve Amulet. This max hit with T-bow can only be hit in raids if your team's big enough to scale the magic level of the undead creatures to 350. However, I'm not even sure if the maxing bag can scale to 350. 94, now let's go throw that on Accurate just out of curiosity. A 96, crazy. So now I'm going to be testing out the Thammaron staff on the Wilderness dummy, and I've never decided to bring this gear into the wild, so this is going to be new to me. But in hindsight, let me tell you, mistakes were made. And we're only able to hit a 54 because it's not even utilizing the Slayer helmet. As you can see, I took the helmet off and I'm still only able to hit 54. So now the only thing left to try is with an Ancestral Hat. Still a 54. So last of all, and the reason why I saved this one for last is because I'm probably going to get roasted in the comment section. Because I do have a max cape, but it's only a cheese max cape. So we are going to be hitting marginally lower without the Infernal cape. But if they decide to fix this and combine all the attributes into one, I might decide to remake this video, which will include the Infernal cape. So first of all, we're going to test out what the true max hit on a Kurask is. We're going to have to set this up to the Kurask variant, which is Ornate Kurask dummy. Let's go. Oh, that's cool. And we only managed to hit a 59, so once again I'm sitting here confused, because at the time I didn't realize that didn't include the Slayer helmet bonus. So pretty much all these max hits aren't going to be true max hits, which actually defeats the entire purpose of this. Let's do a Blister wood Flail max hit. So we're going to set it up to the Undead Combat dummy, and that's kind of cool looking, kind of weird, but Blister wood Flail max hit off task. And if we were to try to see our max hit on task, well, that's not going to happen. So they made some mistakes when they designed this, in my opinion. So next of all, we're going to have to go with the Kelphite max hit setup. Okay, that's pretty interesting. And we got the Carice in hand, and I don't think it's going to include the Slayer helmet setup, which defeats the entire purpose because nobody kills this off task. Oh, there it is, 114. I kind of feel like I knew that. I don't know if that's the actual cap max hit of hitting with a Carice, but I don't think I've ever seen any higher than that. And if I was on task, we're not going to get any higher hits. It's actually lower, see? So I'm not even going to bother wasting my time. And as you'd expect, you're not able to see the true max hit of a Dragon Lance because there's no Slayer helmet effect. And same applies to Vigor's mace. I could tell you in the previous video, with this setup, I was in a beta world, and I did have an Infernal cape. I was hitting 85s with a mace, which might make it the best DPS of any weapon in the game if you have the max gear, which you can literally do in game right now. That might even be a cool video idea if you don't mind risking a couple 100 mil. So that pretty much wraps it up. This video really didn't turn out to be too entertaining, but hopefully it was a little bit informative. And considering you made it this far in the video, I'm going to be giving away 10 mil to one lucky winner. If this video achieves at least 100 likes, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, and comment down below with your RSN. See you guys soon.